Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your number one non-boring source for personal development. Today on the line, we have Patrick Ryan. He is the president and founder of AwakenedWisdom.com. Today, we're going to talk about his book, Awakened Wisdom, A Guide to Reclaiming Your Brilliance, and that is what today's show is about, reclaiming your brilliance. His book was a number one spirituality title in Canada on Amazon. And today we're really going to specifically focus on visioning, going from dream and the vision to action. And there's a freebie, a very special freebie for you at the end of today's show that we'll reveal here at the end, which is really cool. I'm actually excited about this one. Patrick, thank you so much for being on today's Full Potential Show.
My pleasure, James. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, thrilled to have you. And I know you're in beautiful Mill Valley, surrounded by all the ancient wisdom of the trees there. Let's talk about what they have shared with you, what awakened wisdom you have, and why this is such an important message for you to get out.
Yeah, well, you're right in pointing us to the trees, because a lot of the philosophy of awakened wisdom that I write about in the book is how to partner with the world, partner with the land, partner with the forests, partner with each other, and to walk an awakened walk. And an awakened walk is a walk that brings well-being to all the beings, be they plants, animals, mineral, spirit. It's like for the sake of it all. And that's what awakened wisdom's about.
And what's interesting about that is, don't you feel sometimes as a species we have species bias? You know, we may look at it and say, no, I'm not racist or anything, but we are species bias. We look at what is best for humans without necessarily sometimes looking at what's best for life in general. And when you go to connecting with the environment, being with all of the life forms and kind of supporting each other, which is in the end best for humans too, sometimes we forget that wisdom. So it's good that you point that out. Well, let's talk about some of the key points that are in your book. And Patrick, what really inspired it? I mean, where did the inspiration for the book come from?
Well, one of the things that I've really done, I think, well in my life is listening to my intuition and listening to the call from the world, the call from what I call the wisdom field in the world, and responding to that. And that has informed the adventures I've created in my life. I became a Buddhist monk in Asia for a long period of time, and that was inspired by listening to my intuition. And when I came back from that experience to North America, I would say that this book called me to write it. It's not that I wanted to write the book as much as the book wanted to be written, and I just said yes to that call. And so I'm really thrilled to be able to serve in this way and to bring these ideas through.
You know what's interesting when you say that, Patrick, and I find this when I talk with other authors and other speakers about it, it's not so much that you chose the work. It's that you had no choice. You either listen to it or it's going to nag the hell out of you. You have to do the work.
Exactly. And that is a lot of what we're showing people how to do right now, is how to connect into, for each of us, is how to connect into our vision, connect into the dream that is calling us forth. Because every one of us has a very essential role to play in unfolding the dream of this universe. And so this universe wants us to respond and wants us to be in partnership with it.
Now, this is a different paradigm from, say, traditional Western philosophy, which is be proactive, dream up the reality that you want to create in this world and make it happen. You're saying the dream is there. The universe has a dream for us. Evolution, or whatever you want to call it, has a dream. This intelligence is operating at a higher level, and it's calling us to it. Now, are we going to listen? And that's the paradigm that I hear you operating from. Is that an accurate way of looking at it?
Exactly right. You know, as the universe moves its story forward, and we are players in the unfolding of that story, there are certain things that are wanted to happen. And so one of the ideas I talk about in the book is to, and I'm an entrepreneur, so I say this with respect to all the entrepreneurs for your courageousness and your brilliance, that the idea that you're inspired with didn't come from you personally. It was seeded within you according to what the universe is wanting right now. And that idea is like a dandelion seed. And the universe will scatter 10,000 of those seeds around, knowing that a small group of people are going to be available and capable of responding to that particular idea. And so that's our job, is to listen deeply for what's the inspiration that's calling me forth, and how am I positioned to respond to that?
I want to just take a minute more to talk about the power of this idea, because this really causes you to get your ego out of the way and say, am I going to answer this call? There's this vision, this dream that I have. It's actually not mine. Like, I can't actually own it. All I can do is work to express it. And what I find that resonates with this idea, Patrick, is the more in alignment we are with where the universe wants us to go, what's going to help the most people, that idea will resonate with other people and they will join that cause.
Exactly.
Whereas the more you're bent on selfishness and personal gain, the more you might attract those kind of people to it, but it's so far off the track of where the universe wants to go that it's almost built into the model that it's going to fail. There is no divine purpose, if you will. There's no higher intention there, and so in the end, it's going to just kind of fall off and die. So this is really important stuff.
Yeah, I love the way you just articulated that. You know, if we come to an idea from the place of ego, and if we have enough money and enough willpower, we can drive it out into the world, but it's not sustainable. And sooner or later, it's just going to go boom like that.
So and you'll burn out. That's really where burnout comes from, right? It's the ego pushing, and there's no support. Whereas when you do the work, like for example, when you're writing this book, and I want to move on to some of the ways that we can implement this and make the vision a reality. But what I have found is when I'm doing the work of the universe, so to speak, or I'm wondering if you found this in writing this book, that it's almost like an invisible army comes to your aid and makes it happen so that you don't have to feel like you're working so hard. You work hard, but you're not working as hard as you would if you were just trying to push it out with this selfish-driven ego. You're pushing it out with the assistance of this, million-man, 10 million woman army behind you.
Exactly. This is resonance, is what you're talking about.
Resonance.
So when we're inspired, think of the word inspired. Spires are what we humans build, and we point them up to the heavens. Symbolically, they are reaching up to the universe. They're reaching up to God. And so the spire points upwards. So to be inspired is that inner connection that we have to the universe itself. So when we're inspired with an idea from the universe, as you just said, people are going to resonate with that because they're sharing the same inspiration. And, nothing of any value in this world was ever created alone. So when we are operating in this way, we attract in all the resonant people around that. And it's that collective energy that creates this amazing ride of bringing that out into the world.
So if you're watching this right now and you have this inspired idea, recognize that whether you're a good leader or what you consider a poor leader, in the end, leadership is really about putting that vision in front of the people. What is that vision that you were inspired with? And then leading with that vision. Isn't that, Patrick, what leadership's all about? It's having that clarity of what you're doing, what your mission is, what your purpose is. And if you have been inspired, truly inspired, then it's not even coming from you. You can't claim all this greatness. All you can do is put it out there, and it's going to resonate with all the people that are there to support and serve and team up with you.
Exactly right. And within the context of leadership, then what you want to learn how to do is how to bring the wisdom of all the people around you and get all of that wisdom onto the table. So again, it's not one person coming up with the idea, the plan. It's easy to tell people what to do. It's easy to try to control the world. I mean, that's a big illusion because at the end of the day, it's futile. But so many people are still trying.
Right. So and you'll find out. Like you can disbelieve that, but you find out.
Exactly. So awakened leadership is when we create the space for all the people that are resonating to bring their genius, their talent, their contribution in, and that's where the magic happens.
I love it, Patrick, and that was so important to set the stage for you. You have to get your wisdom from that foundation of, this is not about me, this is not about my personal grandioseness, this is about tuning in to a higher message, a higher inspiration, a higher vision, and now organizing people around that idea to turn my vision into reality. I think that's a big part of it. getting that resonance that you talked about. Now let's talk about some other key ideas that you have for turning that vision into reality. Let's say you're coming from that high place now. You've got this vision before you. Let's say you've been, struggling. You're like, I'm a good person. I'm not all about the ego. I have this great vision. I want to touch millions of people's lives, but it's just not getting the kind of momentum that I had hoped. I want to turn my vision into a reality. What can they get from your book that maybe they haven't gotten from themselves yet?
Sure. Well, a couple things. First of all, in the book, I talk about the 8 states of an awakened life. And these 8 states are inspired from what I learned when I was a Buddhist monk in Myanmar, but also I've studied with a lot of indigenous teachers from all around the world. And I've got my own 30 years of what I would call a spiritually based entrepreneurial practice. So these 8 states are informed by all of that. And the idea between all of these 8 states is to have all of them vibrant at the same time. So they're not sequential. These are the 8 states that we want to have polished in our life. And I can just quickly name them if you like.
I was going to just say that. We must be resonating, Patrick.
Great. And then you can pick any one you want to get more curious about. So a good state of understanding is understanding how the universe itself works and operates, at least as far as we humans can comprehend that.
Okay, and that's the first one, understanding?
That's right. Then a good state of intention talks about how to walk with a good state of intention, how to talk, how to think, how to come from a good state of intention, and then the impact of all of that.
Okay.
A good state of words is a teaching on how to use our words as a creative force, because words are one of the most powerful creative forces that we humans have access to. Every sound we make goes out like the ring of a bell and has a creative force behind it. So there's an incredible amount for us to learn about how to use a good state of words better. A good state of being is a teaching on how to have a high quality of relationship. It talks about our interrelatedness to all the beings on this planet, from the humans to the forests to the oceans, and also that relationship back to ourself, to our heart, our mind, our body. Also our relationship to ideas like prosperity, for example. So a lot of people are saying, hey, I'm inviting prosperity in with this hand, and unconsciously they've got the other hand up like this going, whoa, just don't come in too close. And so in a good state of being, we talk about how to open up all of those relationships and have them be really vibrant. A good state of purpose is a discussion on how to live a life of meaning and purpose. And at the end of the day, when we wake up every day, it's so important that we are connected to our purpose. And one of the simple points I'd like to make clear to people about that is that purpose is a simple essence. And when we can make it more complex, great, go for it. But really, purpose is very simple. And there's an element of joy and ease and delight in the simplicity of it. Then there's a good state of effort. And in a good state of effort, we talk about the quality of our day-to-day movement in the world. Are we walking through the world with struggle and suffer? Are we walking through the world with joy and ease and delight? And it's a whole teaching on how to be responsible for your own good state of effort. And the next one is a good state of practice, and how to establish practices in our life that create sustainability for our mind, our body, our spirit, sustainability for the relationships in our life and stuff like that.
And these could also, practices, you could also mean habits as well, right?
Exactly right,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, it's a calling to bring consciousness into our habits.
Okay.
So often we're creating
consciousness into our habits. So not just performing them rotely, but actually every time you do them, bringing consciousness in.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the last one is a good state of doing. So how do you go out in the world and actually do things, and to do them in a good way?
I mean, that's a fantastic list. And this kind of borrows from your experience as being a monk, but also walking in the world as an entrepreneur.
Correct. That's right.
All right, I'm going to run through these 8 states real quick. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go into them in more detail because I want to share with people this freebie that you've got that's fantastic that I think will incorporate these things into them. The 8 states, and this will create a vibrant life and help you bring your vision into reality. That is understanding how the universe works and operates. Intention. So the first one, understanding. 2, intention. Walk with a good state of intention. 3, words. using words as a creative force. They're one of the most powerful creative forces there are. 5, did I say 3? 4. 4, being, how to have a high quality of relationship, an interrelatedness with all the beings on this planet and relationships back to our heart. So being. 5, purpose. 6, effort, the quality of our day-to-day movement in the world. It should be one of greater ease. 7, practices, how to establish practices in our life, sustainable practices or habits. And 8, doing, how do you go out into this world and do all of these things in a good way? So understanding, intention, words, being, purpose, effort, practices, and doing. 8 fantastic things to focus on throughout the day to bring more vibrancy in your life and to bring more resonance in your vision to making it a reality. Now, Patrick, how do we go into this freebie that you have? It's the 21-day Vision to Action Challenge. Where do they go?
We're really excited about this. Go to our homepage at www.awakenedwisdom.com. You'll see the sign-up form right on the front page. It's completely free, and every day for 21 days, you'll receive a video message that helps take you into a deeper connection to these 8 states and to your vision and purpose in the world.
Okay, that's awakenedwisdom.com. This is a totally free challenge, 21-day Vision to Action Challenge. You put a lot of effort into this, and I'm sure you're going to awaken the wisdom in a lot of people who go through this course. So, Patrick, we appreciate your generosity. I encourage everybody who's watching right now, go to awakenedwisdom.com. Patrick, anything you want to leave folks with before we wrap up today's show?
I would like to challenge everybody today, no matter how busy you are, to take 15 minutes, go off to someplace in nature, and just sit down and be quiet and just invite whatever nature you're around to inform you about what's needed in this day of your life.
In this day of your life and in the world at large, it's a great message. Just tune in to this intelligence. We don't have to work so damn hard. The universe will help us.
Yes.
Patrick Ryan, awakenedwisdom.com. Patrick, thank you so much for being on today's Full Potential show.
Great show. Thank you, James. My pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Patrick. And everybody who's watching right now, not only should you go to awakenedwisdom.com, but if you haven't already subscribe to the Full Potential show for more great insights like you got today and the free bonuses that you're getting from these wonderful guests like Patrick. Again, Patrick, thank you so much for being on the show. Have a great and blessed day.
You too. Be well.
Take care.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Full Potential Show, your #1 non-boring source for personal development. I'm James Rick, and if you want to get more positive programming for your brain absolutely free on a weekly basis, just visit fullpotential.com.
If you like the Full Potential Show, you're going to love the Full Potential Club. What would you like most as a Full Potential Club member? Be 2 to 3 times more productive? Do what you're passionate about? Have more energy? Reduce your work hours? Travel the world? Enjoy an amazing lifestyle on a frugal budget? What if you could do them all? James Rick has been there and done it in ways that few people have. For anyone serious about taking their life or business to the next level, you know you've got to do more than just watch. You've got to do. Join James Rick and other like-minded people for an incredible $10 a month at fullpotential.com/club. Be educated. Be empowered. Be the best version of you. fullpotential.com/club. Try it free for 30 days.